Yes guys, it is Cam and Ad from Product Soccer, and today we are here for one reason only, the Mercurial.
Earlier in the week, we dropped 2,500 pairs of these beauties to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Nike Mercurial, tying in well with us here, 25 years at Product Soccer.
Today's also a special one because Nike have officially dropped these, which won't be as limited, so you should be able to get your hands on a pair if you miss these. And again, this is to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Mercurial. You've got the graphics on the instep. The Superfly, the only difference, you've got a swoosh on the toe box, and on the Vapor, it's along the side of the boot. So, two beautiful looking boots. Let me know which one you prefer. But Ad, tell me, why are we here today?
Well, I thought to celebrate 25 years, you know, we've dug into the archives beforehand, got them on the walls behind us. So I thought we're going to pick our top 5 and maybe see what the viewers think as well.
I think that sounds good. But before we get into the video, as always, make sure you leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let us know, are there any boots here already that you're eyeing up? And with that being said, let's get into the video.
Let's go. Challenge for you guys at home. Now, I want to know, can you guys name the players that have worn these boots that we're going to be picking out in our top 5 and honourable mentions?
That's good. That's a good challenge. Yeah, let us know. And I think you can kick us off.
Take us away, number 5?
Number 5, let's go.
Okay, let's go. A tough choice, but I've gone with a very recent boot.
Okay.
And I've gone with the Mercurial 15.
Yeah, Zoom Mercurial Vapor 15. It's a solid shout.
It's a solid shout. I just think recent years, this is now what's going to back again for Nike. The colours, the pink, the blue. I just think gorgeous design. And it's a white boot. It's a classic. So that is why that's my number 5.
My number 5, actually, similar sort of logic.
Okay.
I've gone with these. It's a Mercurial Vapor 8, and it was worn in the 2012 Euros tournament. Colours are phenomenal.
Yeah.
The glass fibre plate is...
Yeah, how's that looking?
That's the selling point for me. I mean, take a look at that. It just looks lovely. The whole pack that Nike released was so clean. It was literally just white split down the middle with a colour at the end. But I think the Mercurial is just, it was the pick of the bunch. So there we go.
Great start. Do you want to take us away with number 4?
I will. I just don't think it's fair to do a Mercurial top 5 and not talk about where it all began.
The OG.
The OG. This boot came out in 1998, so I'm 25, it's as old as me, and I believe...
Older than me,
it's
and in better condition. Yeah.
But yeah, unbelievable boot, and the first boot that Nike, and I think to be fair, any retailer ever created that was a signature release for a player. There, you can have a look at that Ad. R9 for Brazilian Ronaldo.
And arguably the world's best ever.
Yeah.
Some would argue the GOAT, wouldn't they?
They would.
It's up for debate.
I can just hear the boot collectors like, you got to put something nostalgic in. And for me, because it created all of this, I mean, look, 25 years later, that's the difference. You've got your Vapor and your Superfly. Incredible change in technology. So yeah, I think that's a solid number 4 pick.
Now, I've gone nostalgic as well. I've picked out this beauty.
It's a good looking boot.
It is a very good looking boot. I mean, the sole plate, the exact same as your Euros one. But for me, Drogba, Champions League final, Chelsea, Bayern Munich. You know, he wraps the penalty, scores the header. And for me, that is why this goes in, because you think of Mercurial, you think of big game players. And when I think of big game players, Drogba springs to mind. You just need to look at his stats. Brilliant boot, lightweight, the colours pop.
Absolutely brilliant.
And seeing it on feet as well, you just knew it was a statement piece for a player. My number 3, it was tough. But I've gone for a switch up from the Mercurial, though it's the Mercurial range, it was the first ever Superfly.
So you've gone from Vapor to Superfly?
Yeah.
We've picked 4 Vapors so far.
Straight out, so for me, 2009, I believe this got released.
You are right.
You've got, is it the fly wire on the outside and the instep?
Yep.
Now for me, Cristiano Ronaldo's free kick against Arsenal at the Emirates.
Unbelievable.
You remember it?
United fan, I live by that free kick.
This is why, this is that, and you've got the memorable counter-attack that he started and finished.
That little flick.
The little flick.
Ooh.
And then, dodgy runner, but my God, did he get there in the end.
Yeah.
Just such a classy boot. But also, the colourway was that good that they even brought out a remake of it as well, didn't they?
They did.
Later on.
They did, you're right.
A few years back.
It's a great pick.
So that is why, that is my number 3.
I've sort of gone down a similar route to you.
Yeah?
Because, and this was a tough pick for me, but I've gone with the Nike Mercurial Carbon SL. Now,
beauties.
This boot came out in 2008. There were only 2008 pairs produced. We actually exclusively sold these at Pro Direct Soccer.
Really?
Yeah, we were the only retailer to sell them. So they're very limited. They're worth a lot of money nowadays. But the thing that set these apart was similar to the Superfly, which did follow this, is it was made completely of carbon fiber. So almost a concept boot. And Cristiano Ronaldo was the only player who wore this boot, and he wore it in the Champions League final when he scored the header, slipped and missed the penalty, well, got saved, and then JT slipped and you know, the rest is history. Ronaldo fell to the floor crying on the halfway line. But yeah, as a collector, this boot was one of the holy grails. I'm lucky enough to now own it as well. The colours are absolutely phenomenal. And you tell me, am I onto something here? I'm pretty sure this has got something to do with it.
I see it personally. I think the viewers have got to see that as well, surely.
They see it. You let me know at home.
Yeah, they see it. Honourable mentions. Cam, I'll start here. I'll take us away with this.
Let's see.
The first one, I have only ever just seen this for the first time.
Have you?
Walking in today, first time I've seen it. Now, if you don't know much about this boot, it's the Black History Month edition that Nike delivered. Mate, I just think really classy. Whereas my next one, dare I come out with it?
Here we go.
Again, a classy boot, but on the eye, I mean this, the EA collab. I don't know why, but for all the right reasons. You know, Wreck-It Ralph when it's the games, that sort of vibe and game, like your arcade, your vibrancy.
It's good.
It's good, and if I'm not mistaken as well, this, because of the individual colours, was Nike's most expensive boot to actually produce as a boot itself. Number 3, or number 1, depending on what way you look at it, really. What the Mercurial. What the Mercurial. Now, I believe this was released in 2016.
You would be correct.
And I believe celebrating the adulthood, the 18th birthday of the Nike Mercurial. Wow, it's got the history of everything. All colourways just linked in on one boot.
You can literally see a couple of them there. You've got the toe box. On the instep, you've got the clash pack.
Instep here, and at the back of the heel there, you've even got mine.
You've got your orange one.
Here, so it just goes through all previous boots just to create this. And I believe there was a player in the Prem that went out of his way as well. There
was one Premier League player that wore these boots it was off his own back. He wasn't asked to wear them. I think he just loved them so much. So if you know that player, serious knowledge, and let us know in the comments down below.
I think I've got an idea, but I don't.
Do you know?
I think so, but I don't want to say it. I've got 2 tricky, and I mean tricky ballers.
Leave it for the audience.
We'll leave it for the audience, okay. So Kat, your honourable mentions, we've done mine. I want to hear yours.
Well, Vapor 4 is my first one.
Great shout.
And it's got to be this colourway in particular, just because I'm trying not to have too much Cristiano Ronaldo bias. The free kick that he scored against Portsmouth, like, I look at this boot, I can see it in my head. In terms of the boot, the lace cover, I mean, this was the first time Nike introduced this. I think they kept it on the Vapor 5 and 6 and then got rid of it for the 7, but just iconic boot, iconic colour. And as you mentioned earlier off camera, there's been many YouTubers that try and recreate that goal. Chris MD, one of them.
Chris MD, yourself.
I'm going to put myself in the bracket.
You put yourself in the bracket, but I believe we've not got video evidence of yours.
We do have lots of video evidence, and you guys can put it in there because it did happen. I've got to move on to this. Now, I was torn between this and the pink Vapor 4 because this is inspired by the pink Rosa Vapor 4. This is actually Kylian Mbappe's remake for Nike, which was a Superfly 7. You got to be bold to wear these.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be tricky.
Just how bright it is. I absolutely adore it. And I think I bought 3 pairs. I got 2. I got a low cut and a high cut, like, in my stock. And
don't blame you.
I wore one, and I just think it's just, especially even though boots are really bright nowadays, getting an all pink boot was still pretty rare. So that's my number 2 in the honourable mentions. And the final one, unfortunately, we don't actually have here.
No?
No, we couldn't get it up from the archive in time, but it's a boot that I know you guys have probably been screaming at in the comments already. It's the Flyknit Ultra.
What a shout. Eden Hazard?
Eden Hazard was the player to wear it, and it came out, I think, in 4 colorways, and it was more of a concept boot because it was a teaser of what was to come with the Mercurials evolution. But players at grassroots level, amateur level, people that own that boot still class that as like the greatest Mercurial to actually exist in terms of performance. I hope a lot of you are happy we did mention them.
They know.
If you've got knowledge, you know.
You know,
so
100%.
That's my 3 honourable mentions, but I think
great shouts.
Let's go on to number 2.
Yeah, number 2, shall I take it away?
Go for it, Ad.
I've gone for the Rosa.
I'm so glad you've chosen this as well because
I had to.
I wanted it in the list, but I couldn't fit it in.
No, and that's where I come in, you see, because this was the first pink boot I ever saw.
I think it was the first pink boot.
Pink. Pink!
Yeah, it's pink.
When something's new, you want it, especially when I was 8, 9 years old when this dropped, I wanted this. Yeah. And I think it's changed the game for all the colourful boots now we see on the pitch.
It has, and there was one other player other than Reebury who wore this boot. I think we'll leave it to them.
Leave it to them.
If you know, you know, but like, what a player is all I'm saying.
Game changer.
Game changer.
Game changer.
This.
Okay.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Cristiano Ronaldo was presented with this boot after winning one of his many Ballon d'Ors. I just think white, black and gold, you cannot go wrong.
I don't think you can. Limited
to just 100 pairs that were produced and sold. The resale value of these are genuinely, I'm not kidding, in the region of like 5,000 plus. They are so, so rare. When he wore this with a Madrid kit as well, like a white kit with white boots is, I don't know if it's as good as a white kit with black boots, because I know people like that as well, but for me, being in Spain, being in Madrid,
that edges it.
That does. So, this is a boot that I really want as a collector. This is actually the first time I've ever held this boot in person, so I'm quite like...
Dreamland. Sweet shot, run.
Take it, but I've tried not to be Ronaldo biased, but if this didn't have CL7 on the instep, it would still be in my top 5 list as number 2.
I think it'd have to be, it's timeless.
White, black and gold, unbelievable. This takes us to number 1.
Number 1.
And I think before we get into it, how have you guys got on? I mean, have we called out any of the boots that are in your top 5 or your favourite? And if we haven't, this is your last chance to either guess what we're going to choose as number 1 or let us know what you would pick as number 1. Take it away. Explain the situation.
Yeah, we were talking about this off camera, weren't we? And I think we were going, but
don't we?
We agreed on. And it wasn't, it's in at 5, 4, 3 or 2.
Both number 1s.
Both, and it was straight away because we worked in reverse. And the fact that we both agreed, I think for different reasons, as we'll explain.
Go on, get them.
No, you get them. You get them.
I'm gonna get them.
But I think this was the game changer.
Got colourways of this boot all over the wall. This boot, okay, Mercurial Superfly 4, launched in 2014 ahead of the Brazilian World Cup. It launched with the Magista Obra, so it was the first Mercurial to feature a collar, not the first Nike boot, but tell me why you love it, because we've got different reasons, but they also link. So what is it for you?
So for me, the first Mercurial with the collar, I think the fit, the feel of it on hand just looks beautiful as well. But for me, I think this was the game changer in terms of football boots to where we are now.
It was the blueprint, as you said, not just for a Mercurial, but I think for a lot of brands have been influenced. I mean, every Superfly model today, granted it's a little bit lower, they all still have a collar. You may remember Cristiano Ronaldo would always, bloody Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, time for another tyre update.
Anyway, he'd always have a lower cut boot custom made, and it has now become the norm. I mean, look at the difference in height of the collars is pretty much in half now. But for me, as I said, the 2014 World Cup, just fantastic memories in Brazil. Carbon fibre sole plate was brought back for the first time in years. And the thing I remember about these is when I put them on for the first time, it was like this boot genuinely felt different. Like it was a complete different experience. I think it's a testament to how good this Mercurial is, because there's so many colorways of this boot up there that we could have chose from.
Yeah, completely.
I'm choosing this colorway and this boot, which we've both agreed, just because it looks phenomenal.
The statement piece, isn't it?
It ticks all the boxes.
Piece.
But yeah, I think that is a perfect conclusion really to our top 5 list, isn't it?
Yeah, and what a way to celebrate.
Yeah.
25 years of the Nike Mercurial, 25 years of Pro Direct. Sold out.
Sold out.
These are dropping, get your hands on them, but mate, What a whirlwind. History created in these boots.
But enough about you and I. If you guys do want to cop these boots, make sure you head over to ProDirect Soccer or the ProDirect Sport app where you can get yourself a pair. As I said, these aren't as limited, so you should be able to pick yourself up a pair. You've got the Superfly and the Vapor. Final words from you, Ad.
Just how can you not love it?
You can't.
You can't. You can't. The Nike Mercurial, best boot ever made.
I think it's hard to argue with
it.
You can't go 25 years strong and not be successful.
No.
You can't. Well guys, let me know in the comments, what was your favourite Mercurial? Did we include it? Did we miss it? Let us know. And as always, leave a like, comment and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on so you do not miss a single video. Ad, it's been a pleasure.
Loved it as always, mate.
And yeah, we will see you guys next time.